Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and today we are taking a look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimates Foot Solider from Super7. That's right, we are rounding out the first wave of the brand new TMNT Ultimates toy line with a look at the Foot Solider. Very, very exciting. An army builder. I wonder how many of you out there ordered multiples of these to build up an army. Let's go ahead and dive in and take a look at them. So since he's one of the bad guys, he comes in the purple packaging here on this amazing new Super7 packaging. I absolutely love these boxes, but I've talked about them enough in all these videos at this point. Same style packaging here. You got this darker kind of brick wall or subway motif with all of the spray paint. We even have a bio for the Foot Solider right there on the back of the box. And flipping this around, you can see the full window showcasing our Foot Solider action figure and all these accessories, so many accessories within the box. It is gorgeous packaging, and I'm really excited about this guy because I've got a soft spot for those vintage Foot Solider action figures, and I think it's going to be pretty cool getting an updated version of that guy. So let's get this box opened up and get a closer look at him. All right, we got our brand new Foot Solider outside of the packaging. If I bring in the tape measure, you can see that in the stance I have him in right now, he's just above 6 inches tall. Now, it's worth noting that when you pull him out of the package, he's gonna have his legs straight like this. And that actually makes him much taller. So, you know, if he's standing straight up and down, the tape measure reveals he is, boom, right at 7 inches tall at the top of his head. But since this is a Foot Solider, and since he's based on that original action figure, he is definitely meant to stand more in this bent-legged pose. The original action figure was bent like this. Now, they all had bent knees and stuff in that original toy line, but even in the original cartoon series where the Foot Soldiers looked pretty much just like this, they were always hunched over and bent at the knees, kind of with like the longer ape-like arms, just like this figure. So you can stand him upright and it works, but he's definitely meant to be posed sort of like this with the bent knees. And you know what? This guy looks incredible. Like I said, I have always really loved that vintage Foot Solider design, and this is one that translated pretty well between the original cartoon and the original action figure, but I've always liked him. You know, his proportions are really weird since he's a robot, so he does have those very long, skinny arms. His body is very lanky. He's got this really weird football-shaped head, and it just looks so cool. And the Horsemen nailed this update. I mean, this guy looks incredible. They did a good job of taking that look from the original toy, the iconic look, and updating it. So he's got more articulation. He's a bigger figure, but there's also a lot of extra details worked in here. I mean, just look at all of the scratches and scuffs and the textures worked into the pads that are covering their arms here. Even these bands at the bottom look like real wraps. I mean, look at that. That is really cool looking. Great textures on there. You can see that the foot emblem is kind of sticking out of the head there. It is a convex design, so it's not just tampoed on or printed on. You got those kind of bulbous yellow eyes, bright yellow eyes on this very deep purple hood. I love that deep purple coloration that they used. The tones are actually quite dark on this guy. You know, they're very muted and dark. There is a bit of a wash, so it actually does kind of make him look a little dingy. The feet have really great textures on the wraps. This guy looks really awesome. And you know what? The articulation functions real good on this guy too. So one thing that I really love, since you've got him posed in this bent-legged pose, they did a great job with the neck on this one because look, you can really bend the head up and down, so you don't have to worry about him, like looking at the floor if he's hunched over. You can bend his neck forward. You can get that proper head pose. So he does have this neck that is leaning forward, so it's a bit strange, but it's at the base of the neck there. You do have that ball joint, so it still swivels around. You can kind of cock his head left and right, but it does still kind of move side to side as well. So it's some really nice articulation in there. Now this is a bit flexible on the top, but it is attached to the figure. That's not removable. You do have the ball-like joints at the shoulders that allow the arms to go outwards, forwards, and backwards. Swivel at the bicep, a standard single joint at the elbow there, and then swivel at the wrist with a hinge at the wrist. This is a very hard, rigid plastic, this part right here. So it is not flexible. It does not flip around the wrist. It's not too bad. Since you're turning his wrist up here, they're always going to be stuck on this part of his forearm. You do have a swivel at the waist there. You have the ball-like hinges at the thigh, so legs can go outwards, forwards, backwards. You got a swivel up there at the thigh as well. You got single joints at the knee. You got a boot cut, and then the ankles have the ability to hinge forwards and backwards as well as rock side to side. And the articulation functions really well on this guy. I mean, it's all decently tight. Nothing is too loose, and I've had a lot of fun posing this guy around. And you know what? He comes with a ton of accessories, just like all of these figures. But man, oh man, look at all these hands. He's got so many swappable hands. So let me go through them. We've got a pair of these kind of flat posed hands, sort of like, a martial arts pose with the hands. We also have two that are like in these two-finger poses, which is very cool, so you can really get some martial arts stances. We have two gripping hands, we have two kind of loose open hands, and then we have two closed fists. And it's very easy to swap these out. You just pop the hand right out of the socket. You got a small peg there. You can easily pop a new hand in its place, and it functions very, very well. Articulation holds, hinge joints on every single one of them. So all of those different hands are great because not only are they going to allow you to come up with different poses for this guy, they functions with the different weapons, but like I said, he is absolutely an army builder, and all of those different hands and all of these weapons as well were definitely made with that in mind. So he does come with the sprue of unpainted weapons, just like all of the figures in this wave have. It's a callback to the retro toy line. You don't have to use these. You don't have to take them off the sprue because he also comes with all of those same weapons, but fully painted. And man, look at this guy's arsenal. So we've got two throwing stars that are painted a nice shiny silver. We've got this large knife, which comes straight off of the vintage toy, which the gripping hand holds onto very, very nicely. We've got the larger rifle blaster here, again, straight from the vintage toy. You can even get good two-handed poses with that. We have a handheld pistol-like blaster. And then we've got this crazy kind of staff weapon with a claw on one end. And we even have this crazy kind of whip-type weapon. These are awesome. There are so many options here. And again, mixing and matching all of those weapons with all the different hands, you should be able to come up with lots of different ways to display this guy. And like I said, if you were one of the people that ordered multiples of the Foot Soldier when these were available for pre-order, you're really going to be able to display quite the army with all the different displayability options here. It's very cool. All right, guys, it's comparison time. So here is the brand new Foot Soldier standing alongside his vintage action figure counterpart, just so you can see the figure that he was based upon and how similar he is with those updated new parts. And hey, let's go ahead and have some fun here. Let's display them alongside all these different Foot Soldiers that have been released from NECA Toys. This is really cool because this is all very different media for Ninja Turtles that all have their own version of the Foot Soldier, and it's neat to see them all standing side by side. So this is a very, very cool figure. He is absolutely a surprise hit from this particular wave. If I had to rate all of them, I would definitely put Baxter as the #1 best figure in this wave, but I'm probably going to put the Foot Soldier at #2. This is a really solid figure. I love the look. I love all the display options. The articulation is tight and works really good on this guy. Super solid figure and a fantastic army builder for anybody that was able to pay the $45 per figure to build that kind of an army. I mean, it's an expensive army to build, but man, you're going to have a really cool looking display. Absolutely. And this concludes Wave 1 of TMNT Ultimates. It's a really solid wave. It's not without its faults for sure, but I'm hoping that some of the problems I had with like the joints on Raphael and Splinter are going to be corrected as we go. But the sculpts and the accessories are really well done on these figures, and I am overall very happy with these and looking forward to the rest of the Ultimates from Super7. So these were sold pre-order only. That's how Super7 does their figures, and unfortunately Wave 1 is pretty much sold out everywhere at this point, so you're going to have to try to track them down on the aftermarket. If these look interesting, I would definitely recommend jumping on pre-orders for Waves 2 and 3. You can do that now through places like megalopolis.toys. I will link this in the video description. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this content, hit that like button, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, my friends.